All right, we are live. Welcome to the Fatal Vision podcast. This is one of your hosts, James McGinnis, up in here, and we got Billy. Billy, how you feeling? How, you feeling energetic tonight? Are you
Feeling very energetic.
high energy?
Can you hear me
I
okay?
I hear you really well right now, man.
All right, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I am extremely energetic, and I am the perfect fit for this podcast.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
Well, we started.
I just lost your audio, but that's okay.
All right, I'm here.
All right, we're back. We're
Can you
back.
hear me
Hey,
okay?
I hear you great, man. I hear
All
you so
right.
well right now,
My
man.
mic's not plugged in, so
Okay, we're working through it, guys. We're working on it right now. All right, Billy has just stepped away for a moment. For those of you who can't see, oh, he's back now. The microphone's is there, and
yep.
that's what's going on.
All right, here we are. Here we are. The
Here
chat's
we are.
going. We're
It is
gonna
high energy in here. It is cracking.
keeping the energy up. Keeping the
It's a
energy
high.
up.
I am so energized. I'm an extremely energetic person,
Uh,
and yeah.
so James, you uploaded some new material onto the YouTube channel earlier today. It was, I guess, a pretty big find for you, and it has to do with the case, obviously. So why don't you tell folks a little bit about that before we get going?
Yeah, no, we're not going to get going. We're just barely started, but I would say that I was on the old SSD drive today. Where all of our goodies are for the archival things, and I was following an intuition that hopefully the April 6th tape was just tucked away in there somewhere out of the way, and that if I just listened to every single McDonald audio file on there that clearly wasn't it because of the length, that I would eventually find it. But in doing so, I ended up finding um, something that has been long sought after as well, which is the audio of Jim Blackburn and Fred Kassab, recorded in 1989 as a message for the future to warn any parole boards considering McDonald's release not to do it. And
Yeah.
this was an action taken so that Freddie would be able to speak to the parole board from beyond natural death.
Right.
So that was the thing, and it was an incredibly moving 30-minute presentation where Fred and Jim both gave their own commentary on the victims, and I had read the transcript. The transcript has been widely available of this for many years, but I've never heard the audio before, and this is affecting in multiple ways because, first of all, you get to hear Jim Blackburn and Alfred Kassab in the same room, which I've never heard before in my life, and I thought that was a privilege. And
Yeah, me too.
there was a certain gravity to it that is not present in, Freddie's many amazing appearances on radio and television when he's doing it, speaking to people who don't know they're going to be reviewing it. And then, of course, Jim gives his own summation at the end. So it was a beautiful thing to find, and it was incredibly moving. I recommend anybody who hasn't heard it yet to. It's available on our channel for fun and for free. So enjoy. Billy, what was your reaction to it? We didn't see this
Well,
coming. We woke up today. We didn't know this was coming. It's
that's
amazing.
the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And we find it and we give it away. We find it, we give it away. We firmly believe that we have to give it away to keep
Yep.
it here
Exactly.
at the Fatal Vision podcast. So we don't paywall anything. If we have it, you eventually have it.
Yes. As long as there is a Google that will host us, we will put it there, and we've recognized that it's our eventual fate to put up a website to this is that'll have sort of a Christina Misavage energy of all the archived files and all that jazz.
Yeah.
That's many years off,
Do you have any other updates from Fatal Vision or McGinnis World that you want to share with
I
everybody?
wanted to share a couple other things, if you don't
Okay, go
mind.
for it, brother.
Well, first of all, it was a great tape. The other tape, I found it. There was something called a Jeffrey McDonald 7-hour character string out, where it's just something media producers make, where they can in a single file go back and pull audio clips of one person talking. And so the file that had this Kassab thing was in the Kassab character file, and it was in the middle of it. It didn't have its own file, so I was just glad to find it there. But then I went into the McDonald one, hoping I could find April 6th in there. But I didn't find that, but there's like 4 different Larry King appearances, which are just absolutely mind-numbing and self-harm inspiring to hear his the speaking of the the victimization by McGinnis, and the other conspiracy of the Murtaugh Kassab triangle, Murtaugh Kassab McGinnis triangle of evil oppressing him. So it's good stuff. It's all part of it's all evidence of the pathology, and I'm looking forward to cutting them up and trying to figure out what year all those Larry King appearances are from.
Why was Larry King a McDonald defender?
I don't know if he was a true McDonald defender or if he was just he put on a lot of like kooks on his show. Like he put on a lot of he did a lot of UFO. I remember he did a lot of UFO people. Like he had this guy Whitley Strieber on all the time, who wrote a book about that he was abducted by aliens.
You're veering into an opinion on an outside issue,
That's
and
an outside issue. I'm not saying it's weird to be abducted by aliens. It is weird, but it's not. I'm not saying it's not an authentic experience that's
yeah,
real.
yeah, we've been told to stick to the case.
Yes, I got put in my place. I don't know what I said last week, but I got a really harsh message saying, stick to the McDonald case and keep your fucking opinions about outside issues out of this channel. And I was like, I have no idea what I even said, and I'll just try not to talk going forward, because I have no idea when I might offend somebody. So that's the last thing that I want, or that Billy wants. I think I can speak for both of us.
You are authorized to speak for me
Yeah.
always.
So anyway, I just think Larry King is kind of there's sort of a tabloid sheen to some of his programming, and I think giving a guy as like, could he have not done it, was, but even he sort of pulled the plug after '03. After, I know the last time I remember, and it was 2006. It was the day after the DNA results were announced.
Right.
And my dad was supposed to go on that program, and he got a call saying that you're no longer invited because Catherine said that she won't go on the air if you're on the air. And so they booted him.
Oh,
And he was very hurt by that.
that's pretty
Uh,
hurtful. I feel hurt by that right now.
I feel hurt. I think that was just a betrayal to to the viewers, because that would have been a better show. But they did have Bob Stevenson on, who used actually got some vulgar. I don't know if it was a big deal to say the word bullshit on TV in 2006, but I remember thinking he'd really gotten away with it at the time. So
Yeah.
that one I don't have. I don't have that appearance. I have, I think, everything up to the last McDonald appearance recorded in prison. So I'll get the full audio of that out eventually. Any other things that are coming to mind when it comes to McDonald World, Fatal Vision World, Billy, that we've been constantly reviewing?
At work today,
Yeah.
there was a conversation happening near me where a fellow I work with was talking about Butner.
Butner, North Carolina.
Yeah, in the federal prison.
Dude, you're you're fucking kidding me.
Yeah, somebody near me started talking about it, and it took everything in me not to just immediately tell them everything I know about Jeffrey McDonald. I turned, I started to speak, and then I thought better of it,
We've
and
talked about this so many times.
I let them have their conversation, um, and I just continued working. So that's what I got going on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's. I really thought that McDonald might have died one of these days, um, because I had a dream a couple nights ago that I was driving him back to prison for good. Um,
Yeah.
and, which is an odd dream for me to. I don't usually dream that I'm with Jeffrey McDonald, but I guess I should get used to it now that I'm spending all this time with him.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, maybe that's maybe I'm getting like a Jungian message that he's dead, and according to the Bureau of Prisons, he's not. So keep the powder dry on that one, everybody. It's already almost the end of January, and he's still here in 2026. So what can we do about that? Nothing. Just gotta wait.
Yep.
Uh,
Good.
Other
Good.
updates? Anything new and exciting?
Um. Nah, I'm just ready to get back into the
Get
tech.
into the work. Yeah, it's going to be a Stokely heavy night, I think. So we're just going to dive into Helena's Nashville adventures. That's where we left her last time.
The copy I've got,
Yeah.
and then as always, we'll be taking questions from the chat.
Yeah, fill them up, and well, like I said, we'll do mailbag Q&A live phones throughout the program. So, uh,
Oh God,
what?
oh God,
What?
my phone's ringing again.
But they're not calling. It's not the Fatal Vision hotline.
I don't know. I'm not picking that up.
It's don't pick it up. Just leave it. Leave it alone.
Not
Leave it
picking
alone.
that. Not picking that one up.
Not getting on that train. No
No,
way.
sir, not today, Satan. Okay,
No way, Satan.
so we got some activity in the chat here. Hello, everybody. Thank you. I see some friends from the YouTube comments who haven't made it to a live show before. Good to see y'all here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
thank you. Welcome. Glad to have you.
so James, what happened in our last readings?
The last reading ended with Helena Stokely, who we all know and love, going into an institutional setting for mental health and drug addiction reasons, and being diagnosed with schizoaffective disorders and delusions, and um, yeah, she was sort of starting to flirt with the idea that she might have been there. It's like, in my mind, I think I see it happening. So it's starting to come together, and we are about to join her. Having she just wrote a note to one of her roommates saying that I didn't have an alibi for the night of the McDonald murders, and they're all hassling me. So now we're going to move into the section that starts Stokely moved to Nashville.
Okay.
And as always, I'll lead us into the spirit of the text together, and we can all have our own experience of it. Stokely moved to Nashville and took up residence in a small white house on the corner of Belmont and Portland Avenues. Among those with whom she became acquainted was a freelance artist named Jane Ziliou. Helena's house was... A lot of hippies lived there, Jane said. I lived across the street. At first, I thought she was a runaway. She seemed very young to me. I didn't know how old she was. I never asked her. She just looked too young to be away from home. She was sick. She had hepatitis. A lot of the time, when I would see her, she would be yellow. Even her eyeballs would be yellow. One day, when I hadn't seen her for a few days, I thought, well, I better check on her. I didn't know if those hippies were feeding her or not, so I went over there. It was in the evening, sometime before Thanksgiving.
I want to say before you, like this entire page in my edition is this this person being quoted verbatim by Joe.
Yes.
It's an interesting choice he made that he.
Yeah. And he also gave her a name. He's giving Jane Ziliou a name in the book, which is,
Yeah.
a big deal.
I could imagine a version of this that's one paragraph that that Helena had a roommate who said she
Yeah.
was sickly.
No, we're hearing her. This is probably. I'm assuming this is the story she gave Team Pruitt and Kearns at some point. But we'll check that. We'll get that. We'll get back to you on that.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, I knocked on the door and I said, "Helena, are you there?" And she said, "Yes." And I went into her room. She was weak and shaky, and she sat down on the bed, and I sat beside her, and I asked her if she was all right. She said, "I've been sick." I said, "Well, Helena, why don't you go home? Why don't you go home to your family and let them take care of you?" And she said, I can't. I can't ever go home again. I was involved in some murders. My family don't want me around."
Checkmate.
Oof.
She said
Wow.
it. She said it right there.
That is where the Unsolved Mysteries episode would just end, right? If you have any information about the McDonald case, call the 800 number. I didn't say anything. I was just too shocked. I expected a teenage confession like I hate my mother or I'm a runaway. I didn't expect that. I was horrified. But finally I said, "Well, did you do it?" And she said, "I don't know whether I did or not. I've been a heavy drug user, and when you are on drugs, you do funny things. When you're on drugs, you do things that you don't think you did, and other things that you think happened really didn't. So I don't know. I can't remember." This is going to be really good. But then she said, when I came to myself, I was in the rain. It was raining and I was terrified. Then she took her arms and wrapped them around herself and hunched her body over. The tears were running down her face and the mucus was dripping from her. Jane Ziliou is clearly an artist. She's just rendering it perfectly. Right from her nose, mucus, and she was just hysterical. She flipped her hands up and said, "So much blood, so much blood." I couldn't see or think of anything except blood. I was trying to calm her down, but I wanted to get out of there too. I didn't know if she was on drugs right then or not, but I wanted to get out of her apartment. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to hear that. So I said, "Well, who were you with?" And she said, 3 boys. I didn't know them. I was with them for the drugs. She also told me it had been a woman and 2 small children that they'd killed, and that she had been wearing her blonde wig and white boots. I know they were white plastic leather boots because before that, when we were in a store once, she pointed out a pair and she said, "I had a pair of boots like these, and I loved them, but I had to get rid of them." Anyway, she just got all blubbery and incoherent, sobbing and crying, And then she grabbed hold of my arm and said, "You won't tell, will you?" And I said, "No, I won't." And just as quickly as I could, I got out of there. Okay, so that's pretty damning, right? Is McDonald as good as free? today in 2026 because of that. Didn't the jury have a right to know this lady's story? She was one of the 7 that was denied the privilege of speaking in front of the jury.
Yeah.
The mucus pouring out.
Was she wearing a blonde wig and white boots that night, according to other people that?
No, I think that
That night?
seems like it was something. It seems like something she was able to information she was able to absorb after the fact. 'Cause that's never been. It was, I mean, in the 80s, McDonald's PI team was able to get people saying they saw her in that outfit at a Dunkin' Donuts covered in blood. But no one ever before the trial or before the
Right.
conviction.
Right. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
in.
please take us deeper.
3 days later, Jane Ziliu did call the FBI office in Nashville to report the conversation, to give them Helena's name and address, and to say that she believed it had something to do with the McDonald murders at Fort Bragg. The FBI, however, simply thanked her politely and did nothing. In early December, another acquaintance of Stokely's, Red Underhill, approached her apartment and heard the sound of crying from within. As he entered, she began to scream hysterically, "They killed her and the 2 children. They killed the 2 children and her." Not long afterward, Stokely returned to Fayetteville. On December 29th and 30th, she was interviewed by CID agents who were just beginning the new investigation. She repeated to them her story of taking mescaline, getting into an automobile, and driving off alone. Because of the drug use, one of the agents reported, she couldn't remember anything that happened after that. In January, Stokely returned to Nashville. She wrote to Prince Edward Beasley on January 20th. "Beasley, what does the CID want of me? I didn't murder anyone. Are they going to keep hassling me? Is there any way I can take a polygraph to find out whether I was at McDonald's house or not the night of the murders without the CID finding out the results? Are they still suspicious of me, or can I come out of hiding now? I'm living in constant paranoia. Please let me know anything, and please don't give the CID my address." Beasley, however, was cooperating fully with the CID. Not only did he provide them with Stokely's Nashville address, but on February 27th, he accompanied a CID agent to Nashville and participated in further questioning of her. She said she did not remember anything that had happened on the night of the murders, he later recalled, except getting into a blue car she thought was a Mustang and that it belonged to a Bruce Fowler, who was in the Army at the time. She said she remembered starting the car and backing out of the driveway, and after that she remembers nothing. She said the last person she knew to see her on the night of February 16th was Greg Mitchell. There he is.
There he is. He keeps popping up.
Her boyfriend at the time, and that he was the one who gave her the mescaline. When I told her that this type of narcotic would not cause her to black out, and if it did, she would not stay blacked out for that long, she said she knew this and was afraid she had a mental block that must have been caused by some awful thing that she had seen that night. The following day, Beasley asked her if she would agree to be fingerprinted and to have hair samples taken. She refused. He asked her why. She said she was afraid she might have witnessed the murders and might know the people involved. She told him she'd been having dreams during the past few weeks, which indicated to her that she might know something about the case. I asked her what type of dreams, Beasley said, and she said she had dreamed of seeing people struggling in violence and a lot of blood. Then she said she thought McDonald might have had something to do with the murders, but she didn't know. I'll read that sentence again.
Yeah.
Then she said she thought McDonald might have had something to do with the murders, but she didn't know. Then she told me again that she did not know for sure what had happened, but she had a suspicion that she was in some way connected to the incident.
So it's a lot of intuition, a lot of just sort of vibes.
Definitely a vibe shift.
A vibe shift for her. Just feeling a general sense of guilt, but not knowing for what. And
Right.
wanting to atone for something, but not knowing why. And this is sort of giving her an avenue of, but she still very sort of holds back, you know. But I think at the same time, I think McDonald might have done it.
Right. I mean, it's not fun to to pick apart Helena's story.
No,
Uh,
it's not. It's not
but
fun.
she's so tragic, and she's being so exploited by cynical actors here, Prince Beasley
Yes.
among them.
Yes.
But her story obviously doesn't make any sense. Like, I think I got in a car. It was blue.
Yeah. I
I think
took
I was
mescaline
there.
and got in a car, and then I can. Where the hell is all the satanic ritual abuse stuff that she cops to later with Gunderson? She
Maybe that's
forgot.
what she was, the blank spot.
Yeah,
And
that's right. That was the. It
I'm
was
sure
the.
she wasn't fed that by anybody.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. So that was. It was. It was a. It all comes together later. We should become. We should become students of the. Of the conspiracy lore around Stokely at some point. I will. I swear to God. This is pretty intriguing stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, um,
Do you want to do another? Should we get through another section, or?
yeah, let's try to get to another section. I just wanted to tell you that I did. I've never actually sat down and read the CID reinvestigation report, like cover to cover, uh, by Peter Kearns and company. And I did because I was looking for more on that stuff about the phone number on the written in pencil on the murder weapon, which we can. That's a whole different thing. So I was going through that, looking for where uh, Kearns put the thing about that McDonald rang someone in the middle of the night before he called the MPs, and then I couldn't. I found that, but then I found this other thing where a neighbor lady they talked to, a neighbor in Corregidor Courts, uh, reported that she had a dream of Colette after her death, telling her that it wasn't Jeff and that it was these people down the street and they let them get away. So and that her dreams are always right. So that's Stokely has that going for her too, to add to her credibility. It's coming through in dreams, two different people.
Hey,
And I'm not. That's not a knock on the lady who was just being honest about her dreams at the time at all. I just thought that
yeah.
was
James, have you ever driven Jeffrey McDonald to prison in your car?
in my dreams.
In your dreams, you.
Oh, but in my feeling, I feel like it might have happened because it happened in
Yeah.
a dream. So there you go.
All right. Let's
All
keep
right, so we're
going.
gonna go in with
People
Jim
that are
Gaddis
still
now.
people that are still here, thank you. I see your activity in the chat.
Yeah, it's piling up.
I'm monitoring it very closely. We have an old friend in the chat. I hope we're hope we're
I hope
energetic
yeah, I
enough.
hope the energy's high enough for that old friend. Okay, here we go. On March 25th, 1971. I'm sorry, did I just skip an entire section? I did. No, I
No,
didn't.
no, nope. I finished on she was in some way connected to the incident.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I am on the right part.
Yeah.
1971, a tall, dark, and handsome Nashville Narcotics Squad detective named Jim Gaddis participated in a raid on the house in which Helena Stokely was living. Stokely, who was not arrested, approached Gaddis and asked to speak to him privately. She asked if he knew anything about the McDonald murders in North Carolina. She said she was a suspect in the case and wondered if he could find out whether she was still wanted. She also told Gaddis that she had been a police informant in Fayetteville and would like to work with him in that capacity. Gaddis met her on a street corner an hour later, and as they drove around town, she pointed out 5 different locations where narcotics were sold and identified the dealers. When raids the next day resulted in 2 arrests for heroin possession, Gaddis came to believe that Stokely could be useful, particularly when she agreed to let Nashville police place electronic surveillance equipment in her apartment. Stokely continued to talk about the McDonald murders. She told me a lot of things about the case, Gaddis said. She also contradicted herself several times about things she had previously told me. Some of the things she told me are that on the night of the murders she had taken some LSD, but she said it had no effect on her. It's like a yogi. Later that night, she said, a boy named Greg gave her a large dose of mescaline. After that, she claimed she remembered nothing about where she was until sometime early in the morning. She told me she remembered coming home in a blue Mustang. She remembered getting in the car sometime around midnight, and she remembered getting out of the car at her apartment, but she couldn't remember if she was with anyone or where she went. On one occasion, she told me that she definitely knew who had killed the McDonald family, but she didn't give any names. On another occasion, she told me that she had only had suspicions about who the killers were. On one occasion, she even told me that Dr. McDonald did it himself. I wonder how she would know that firsthand.
I'm I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
I mean, she eventually goes on to say that she and McDonald were sexually active,
Yes.
which I know is a common fantasy for
Who
all
among
genders.
us has not had that?
All genders, all ages. It's just a nonstop thing. But so
We're not made of stone, after all.
no, of course. But yeah, that's sort of the natural endpoint of her imaginary life with involved in the murders.
She also claimed at one point that she had applied to babysit.
I thought that she was an active baby, or she had applied, or she was an active. She was somehow
I applied and
involved in
maybe
it
also
all.
babysat them. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
this information is in Gene Weingarten's piece as
Oh
well.
yeah, that's
Really?
right. Which I just reread last week. Just as
Oh,
sort of a
I,
matter
I
of
reread it yesterday.
yeah, good. Well, we're
Uh,
doing our part to keep the Washington Post in business.
yep.
Um,
Careful, careful.
Careful there.
But I don't know. The reason I'm struggling, I go through this all the time. Like, you actually have intelligent people out there participating in the discourse around this case, and the McDonald Defender party line all rests on this, which we're reading about right now. It's all here.
Well, I think that we know for a fact Prince Beasley goes from ambivalent from a to a true believer in her guilt. I can't name all 7 witnesses. I know Gaddis was one, two. So obviously Gaddis comes in with some heat later. We're gonna have to do a full audit on who they were and what they were going to say, if only the jury could have heard them. So yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Anyways,
we're gonna wrap up the reading. It won't be long. So just keep the comments and questions coming, and we'll address them all in due course.
yes, exactly. It's going to be exhaustive.
Yeah, I'm prepared to stay up all night.
No, yes, me too. On April 23rd, a CID agent returned to Nashville accompanied by an Army polygraph operator. Stokely agreed to take a polygraph test in regard to her possible involvement. First, she had another discussion with Jim Gaddis. She again told me she wasn't involved in the murders, but that she knew who the killers were. She wouldn't tell me who they were. When I asked her why, she said, "Those people are suffering enough." She did not tell me the reason the McDonald family was murdered, but said something to the effect, some people would do anything for a fix. She then said she had been there and had witnessed the murders, but she wouldn't give me any details. She also mentioned that Dr. McDonald had once refused to give one of her addicted friends any methadone, but she wouldn't say who the friend was. This is a natural response to being refused dope by a doctor, is to kill him or his family and frame him.
Well, barely hurt him, actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. No, they had him in the kill position and then walked away. You can't forget that. He was unconscious, and they just said, "Ah, this is too much.
Forget.
This is too much violence for us at this point. We can't stomach hurting McDonald."
I'm sure he won't identify us.
No, I feel pretty confident. Stokely's first polygraph examination lasted from 6:15 until 10:30 p.m. During the interview, the operator said, "Miss Stokely repeatedly acknowledged knowing the identity of the persons who committed the murders." Bill, do you want to come in here for the Gaddis Lovers Lane run through?
Yeah, I'd be honored to do that.
Yes.
The next day, she told Gaddis that the killers had made one previous attempt on Jeffrey McDonald's life.
So he's survived two assassinations.
This is, again, this is Errol Morris's whole case. It's right,
Wow.
it's all right here.
This is an 800-page book waiting to be written.
The next day, she told Gaddis that the killers had made one previous attempt on Jeffrey McDonald's life but had failed. She didn't explain this any further, Gaddis said. I wonder why. She kept telling me things but not explaining them any further when I would ask questions about what she said. Later that day, she underwent further polygraph testing, during which she stated that in the previous 3 or 4 months, her dreams had frequently placed her on the couch in Jeffrey McDonald's living room, and that McDonald had stood over her, pointing at her with one hand, while in the other he held an ice pick, which was dripping blood. That's pretty incriminating for Jeff.
Yeah, I still think that's pretty bad for him.
She also said that she knew the identity of the people who had committed the murders, and that if the army would grant her immunity from prosecution, she would make the names available and would explain the circumstances surrounding the killings. Refused immunity, she said she had already, quote, talked too much and retracted her earlier statement about knowing the names of the killers. Later in the interview, she reiterated her statement that McDonald had killed his family himself.
This is all still on the polygraph?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
That
All
night,
right.
Gaddis took Helena Stokely out to dinner. He ordered wine for the two of them. Just a couple of wines for them.
Yeah, it sounds great. She sounds like a great companion.
At the end of the meal, he surreptitiously wrapped her wine glass in a napkin and put it in his pocket. The next day, fingerprints were lifted from the glass. Uh-oh. After dinner, Gaddis drove Stokely to one of Nashville's lovers' lanes and embraced her.
I think did Joe just do a big, did he just use embraced her to cover up some serious ethical dilemma going on with Mr. Gaddis? That's fucked up.
And lovers' lanes,
Aren't usually just for embracing.
yeah, and we know your dad was a big Bruce Springsteen fan.
He was.
Some of the early albums use that phrase.
Oh, I forgot about those albums.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know your favorite Bruce albums start in 1992, right?
92 onward, yeah. I'm
That's
not
all.
really a 70s guy. That's another podcast.
Yeah, we're working on that one.
Yeah. So Jim and Helena embraced.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not,
Not good. Oh, actually, it was to an end. It was to an end.
Okay. In the process, while running his hands through her hair, he was able to obtain a hair sample. Laboratory analysis revealed that neither the hair nor the fingerprints matched any hair or fingerprints found inside 544 Castle Drive.
Okay, but no, they didn't have DNA testing in 1971. They didn't have DNA, or 1970, whatever it was, 1971. They didn't have any DNA testing. So, what happened when they tested her DNA against the crime scene later?
What did happen?
No, they didn't find anything. All right.
What about that hair in Colette's hand? Couldn't that have been from Helena's wig?
That was Jeffrey's.
Oh,
No, it was ripped out. It was produced in a struggle. Not it wasn't naturally shed. So
James.
that's not good for him.
The phrase "lovers lane" appears in "Incident on 57th Street."
That's it. Is
But
that
I
in one of the? Yeah.
But I can't remember. There's another one. I'm hearing it in my head, but I can't place it.
You should do we should do a Fatal Vision Springsteen cross reference reader.
Along with the cookbook. Now we have
Yes.
we have a question to face here.
We have a question.
Well, no, for each
Oh,
other
a real question.
because the chapter's almost over. We could
It is?
Yeah, we could just get to the end.
Oh, we just finished the chapter.
All right, I'm going to read the next paragraph because
Yeah.
on the morning of April 26th.
Ooh. Guys, that's Billy's birthday. Just put it down in your calendars now.
Stokely, arriving for a third day of polygraph examination, announced that she would henceforth refuse to answer any questions and that she wanted to consult an attorney. She asked to be excused to go to the ladies' room and did not return. The next day, she sent Gaddis a note. Please believe I was not in that house. I really and truly don't know anything about the whole mess. I'm sorry I had to leave, but I couldn't listen to them lie anymore, especially with you there. I'm only begging you to believe me. I'm telling the truth. Thank you for the meal. I'm sorry I let you down. Don't let them arrest me, please. Thanks and love, Helena. In his written report, the polygraph operator concluded that due to Miss Stokely's state of mind and excessive drug use during the period of the homicides, the conclusion could not be reached as to whether or not she knew who committed the homicides or whether she was present at the scene. In the weeks that followed, CID agents located, interviewed, and gave polygraph examinations to all the people whom Stokely had named at various times as being possible participants in the crime. All denied any involvement, and in each case, the denial was supported not only by the cross-checking of stories, but by the results of the polygraph tests. Agents also spoke to the two young women from New Jersey with whom Stokely had been sharing her Clark Street apartment. One said Stokely had not returned to the apartment at 4:30 on the morning of the murders, but had been away until much later in the day, thus casting doubt on Posey's recollection. This roommate also said that Stokely had enjoyed being mentioned in newspaper stories about the killings. All right, we've reached the final section here.
Okay, well, I just wanted to point out that they spent a lot of time checking out everything Stokely gave them for being so zeroed in on Jeff on the reinvestigation. So to their credit, it seems like they did look at these things, just like Joe's writing about it in his book. But anyway, William Posey, remember him, the laundry guy, her neighbor, received $300 for his testimony at the Article 32, was found in Birmingham, Alabama in June of 1971. One of 7 children of a career Army man, Posey, the CID had learned, had been arrested for housebreaking in 1968 and on 4 separate occasions in 1969 had been arrested for drunk and disorderly conduct. A polygraph examination indicated that Posey's testimony at the Article 32 hearing had not been truthful. When confronted with this result, Posey admitted that he had not seen Stokely get out of an automobile on the morning of February 17th, 1970, but had only seen her walking from an automobile to her apartment. He also said he did not know that the car had been a Mustang. He said that a month or two after the murders, he'd had a dream in which a Mustang had appeared. For that reason, he had testified that this was the car from which Stokely had alighted. That is a really nice, fun word for Joe to put in there. He further said that he was no longer positive that the morning he'd seen Stokely had been the morning of February 17th, and that it had not occurred to him that she might have been involved until at least a week after the murders, and that the opinion he had formed at the time was the result of Stokely's telling him that she had been on drugs the night of the killings and could not remember what she had done. Having absorbed all of this information, Pruitt and Kearns discounted Helena Stokely as a suspect and began to probe more deeply into the background of Jeffrey and Colette McDonald.
End of chapter 2.
End of chapter.
Of part 3. Wow.
Part 3. Wow, guys.
Good stuff. Good stuff, man. So, McDonald Defender comes in the room.
Yeah. Oh, he's barging in. He's breaking down the door.
Yeah, what is he?
I'm sorry. I should say that I left the back door unlocked. And he got in that way because that's what McDonald did. Anyway, sorry. That's too inside baseball.
No, I got it.
McDonald Defender's here. Yeah, he's on the line. He's on the line.
Are we doing live phones tonight?
Live phones. We're doing live phones.
People can just join the live stream. How do they do that?
If someone wants to come on, if someone wants to join us on audio.
Yeah, what do they have to do?
Oh, we'll put a link in the chat, guys. We'll get you right in. We'll
definitely consider letting you in.
Yeah, well, you let us know what you want to say on the air, and we'll absolutely consider it.
All right, let's go through the chat. We'll see what questions we got along the way here. Hello from San Antonio. Hello.
Glad to have you back. Thanks for joining again.
People love your cat, James. Your cat was sitting behind you.
I was excited. I didn't want to scare her, but she made it into the shot, which is awesome.
No. Nope.
No questions?
Let's see.
How about just some comments? I saw some comments in there.
Well, we got there was never any physical evidence that Helena was ever in the McDonald apartment. She was not there despite McDonald's numerous attempts to try and make others believe she was. Interestingly enough, early on, Jeff wasn't even willing to say that it was her.
He wasn't willing to say that during the trial to a reporter.
Yeah.
When asked. So yeah.
And when he was face to face with her during the trial, he didn't really care.
Couldn't have cared less.
Let's see. What else we got? Okay, this must have been a comment from Carolina T. It's talking about when I was commenting on Joe putting the whole transcript from the roommate in there. Billy, it just shows that Joe put everything in the book. Shows what a good writer / journalist he was. I fully agree with that.
I agree too.
Robert Price, do a podcast on Belichick getting screwed.
What happened to Belichick?
So,
oh wait, outside issue though.
Well,
yeah,
we're being asked directly.
Okay.
I don't want to offend anybody, but it has leaked that Bill Belichick will not be a first ballot Hall of Fame inductee,
Oh, okay.
which was met with a loud outcry from the public and from other coaches, players. LeBron James weighed in, a player on a different sport, even.
Oh, he's a basketball player, that one.
Um, yeah, I mean, my view on that is that they're clearly punishing him for Spygate and Deflategate, but
Well, isn't that what they do with the other Hall of Fames? With Pete Rose or whatever?
yeah, it could not be more different.
They couldn't? Okay.
But
Sorry.
I just kind of feel like if somebody with 6 Super Bowl titles as a head coach doesn't get in, like, what are we?
Well, I think Hall of Fames are kind of a joke.
Yeah, it's just not a thing.
Hall of Fames are just are not actually a thing. They're just like a thing that you made up that makes you think something matters, but
Well,
it's
right, and then every once in a while the artifice collapses, and you're like, oh, this isn't real. Uh,
yeah, no, there's really it's not a thing at
it's not a
all.
thing. He's the greatest coach of all time. He did not call timeout against the Seahawks, and he set up a
Mm.
Butler interception, and Butler rhymes with Butner.
Butler sounds a whole lot like Butner, which is pretty wild.
So anybody who's hurt by things I just said, I was just answering one of our.
There's a question that came into the chat. Um,
All right, and Mal says Belichick as misunderstood as McDonald.
that's interesting.
What else we got here? King was a bit of a sensationalist from Auntie Jen.
Thank you, Jen. I guess so. He had to put on a show every what 4 nights a week. So
Yeah,
I'm just trying to find this email my dad said. Okay, here we go. This is something he said sent to Gene Weingarten, where he denigrates the Stokely Seven. Um, do you want to hear what he said,
yeah, please.
Gene Weingarten, about on this matter? All right, so this is December of 2012.
Okay, and it's Gene writing to your dad,
It's Joe writing to Gene.
Joe writing to Gene.
Um, okay. It's too long ago for specific and exact recall, but my sense remains that they knew Dupree didn't like Siegel and that he probably thought McDonald was guilty, some of the jury. But as one of them said, it didn't matter what the judge thought, that's why we have juries. Um, all right, so let's skip ahead because there's a lot of good, juicy stuff in here. We want to stay focused here. As for okay, so we just talked about, I met and talked to the Stokely Seven. I spent the whole summer with Wendy, a lovely person whom Nancy and I entertained later as a guest in our home, as we did Mike Malley. But Wendy followed Siegel like Susan Atkins followed Charles Manson. As for the others, Gaddis was a hustling street cop. Byzantine was a faceless polygraph operator. Posey was a near certifiable idiot. Underhill was a crazed anti-government fanatic with the IQ of a parking meter. He later ran as a Tea Party candidate for a state legislature in Florida. And Ziliu was from another solar system, not just planet. Beasley was a common grifter. He and Britt would have been kindred spirits had they known each other. All right. So I was just trying to remember. I remember there was some email where he characterized the Stokely Seven in
Yeah.
succinct way, and I thought that was pretty handy.
Yeah. We got some more coming in from our number one fan, Mal. How about a shout out to Bob Keeler? He sent us 4 chats in a row about Bob Keeler. James, do you have anything you'd like to say about Bob Keeler?
Bob Keeler is a legendary journalist who's done amazing work on this case and wrote a lot of amazing articles. And we now have the benefit of all of his audio tapes that he recorded in the 1970s and 80s, and posted a lot of them on our channel, and you can enjoy them, and I hope you do. And thank you, Bob, for all the work you've done on this case. And I saw something else about when are you going to have Brian Murtaugh on as a guest.
James, you
Very
gotta
soon.
just ask him, man. You gotta just
Yeah,
ask.
just gotta ask him. I asked him an unrelated question yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was just like, oh, well, if I could ask him to come on the podcast, but what if he says no? Then I'll just have to basically kill myself. So it's kind of a dilemma. You don't want me to hurt myself, so that's sort of where we end up. I certainly don't think we'll be doing a live episode if we do that.
Definitely not.
No, that would be a big mistake.
No, because
Um,
like Catherine would come and comment probably.
we're getting a lot of compliments from Mal, so thank you for that. We're a wonderful interviewer. Oh, that Bob Keeler is. Yes, he
Yeah,
is.
he's not talking about us.
Not talking about us or Murtaugh. Um,
Yeah.
that's okay. Okay. Anyway,
All right, we're gonna go off the air in about 3 minutes. So
yeah. We gave you an hour of our time tonight, um, and we did a lot with it tonight. We gave you a lot of more stuff. I kind of wanted to talk about some of the investigation we've been doing this week. Sort of maybe as a what do they call it in corporate double talk? A call to action. Uh, I'd never heard this. That Colonel Kane, who was McDonald's, often confused with Colonel Kingston by me and by others, very acquainted with the case. It was McDonald's direct superior. His wife was awakened by a phone call between 3 and 3:30 in the morning. This is in her statement to the CID reinvestigation on the 17th by a male voice, and that she could not comprehend, and she went back to sleep. And according to these files, and according to Victor Warheide and a 1984 filing, the CID Fort Gorton lab, found her number written on pencil on the murder weapon, the 31-inch club,
Hmm.
uh, which I just think is really a big fucking deal in terms of like conclusive, like in terms of people. It sort of takes sort of the mystery out of the. If you could say McDonald, I mean, I guess any McDonald defender could. What would a McDonald defender do if we could produce that? If we could produce that actual lab report where it shows that there was Joanne Kane's phone number written on
There's
the
our book.
club.
There's our book.
That's our book. Well, yeah, but then what would a McDonald defender do to completely dismiss that?
Helena
Stokely
wrote.
wrote it.
Helena wrote it on the.
Helena wrote it on there. McDonald called it in his days. But that means it still means McDonald was in the room with it, making a phone call, an hour plus before he called MPs.
Yeah, yeah. The head
Or
injury.
maybe it was Jimmy Fryer from calling from prison after he couldn't get through. He tried calling McDonald's superior because he couldn't get through at the house.
Yeah.
That's all there. Anyway, that's been what's eating up a lot of my mental energy. If anyone's got any leads on that, all I can find is there's a reference to it in the grand jury. Borhady asked McDonald about the phone call, about the phone number on the club. There's also it's in the CID reinvestigation report. It's in the 84 filing.
Mm-hmm.
and it's on Phil Callahan's website. But that's all I got right now. So guys, we need more.
The other Lover's Lane that I was thinking of comes from the live version of the E Street Shuffle from the 1975 Hammersmith Odeon show.
Oh, nice.
He
All
does
right.
he does a little riff.
Okay, that's cool, man. So he was really into that back then.
He loved Lover's Lane.
So did Jim Gaddis, but only for dry embracing, no kissing. That's pretty. He kept it G-rated, which is epic.
Yeah.
We have a Jim Gaddis interview in our files.
Yeah.
Should we put out the Stokely 7 interviews?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why the hell not? Let's see what they said.
Yeah, I
Um,
will not be listening to
I
them.
won't listen. You guys can in the comments as always weigh in. What do you think? We put on a lot of the interviews with people that are on our side.
You got here.
We put out Ham Beal. We put out and Douthit in the last week. I have not listened to either one.
Wow.
Um, is it-
Victoria said Belichick's a cheater.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Let's,
again, so, look, I'm not trying to really get into a whole thing about that. That was a question that was put to us. I don't want to get any emails about this. I got enough emails about the last outside issue I commented on when I didn't know I was doing that. I'm just
yeah,
here to talk about the case. I'm just a
yeah.
Fatal Vision podcast guy. I think about Fatal Vision. I read Fatal Vision. I take questions about Fatal Vision. I take questions from Fatal Vision podcast fans about other things if they come up. But I'm sticking to what I know about.
I'm a Fatal Vision podcaster. Every decision I make is with Fatal Vision on my mind.
My
And
primary
that's it.
purpose
Yeah.
is to carry the message of
hmm
Fatal Vision to the person in the world who still suffers
Without having read it.
without
And
knowing about it, without thinking about it, without being one with it.
I know we've just gone. We promised to end, but you just a little open things up a little bit more.
Yeah,
I
my
think it's
heart feels very open right now.
it's always worth reiterating that the vast majority of people that we are personally acquainted with do not listen to this or know that it exists or care that it exists.
And yet, somebody named Christy just said your podcast is the best. I appreciate all the work you guys put in.
Yeah, man.
So as long as I get that once in a while,
Hey,
I don't need my mom to ask about it.
no, we don't. We don't need that. We found our tribe outside, so we're
You know,
good.
today at work, a couple of my coworkers were asking like if I liked the beach, and
Really?
yeah, I started going off on a little riff about how I don't like the beach. It's outside issue. Don't email me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's
none of your business. Yeah.
one of my fun things to kind of be a contrarian about. But that led to a whole thing where I explained to them what the condo is and
Oh, your mom's condo and all that jazz. Yeah.
yeah, with her partner, Dave.
Yeah.
And
Partner.
now it takes me like 6 hours to get there, and then I sleep on the couch, and there's these three cats I'm allergic to running around, and like I'm supposed to feel relaxed because the ocean is nearby, but usually I just feel kind of scared and congested. So,
Yeah, we actually, Deirdre and I went up to Hampton Beach in 2020,
oh,
and we stayed in a hotel that's probably not far from that condo, and there was like fireworks going off all night long, and we just didn't sleep. It's just a
I'm
lot
sorry
of,
to hear that, man.
yeah, so it's kind of a party town, right? It's not really a relaxing experience.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, when I got done explaining all this to my coworkers, they just kind of stared at me and were like, "Are you okay?"
this is why you just don't talk. You just keep your mouth shut and just save it for the podcast.
Yeah, because at least here I know I'm safe. Like at work, I'm talking about the condo, and next thing I know, I'm saying I don't have to go, Mom. I'm 33, Mom. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then my
remember when she
coworker,
said, "Why are you even considering not going? It's the funnest thing in the world." If someone offered me to go, I would have blocked it out of the calendar immediately and burned up my PTO. Um,
I think that was the time my mom made me go zip lining with my nieces and nephew
yeah, I saw the photos on Facebook.
for my birthday. My mom was
Yeah,
like, Billy really stepped out of his comfort zone this year, and
this year, Billy ziplined. He made it this year. This year mattered. The years he didn't zipline didn't mean shit.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna try tomorrow to not tell my coworkers anything.
Oh yeah,
But
you
yeah.
know where our yeah. Anyway,
Oh,
I'm going to
sorry. I
yeah.
guess it's your turn to talk. Yeah.
No, it's not. Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I have.
I have a work thing tomorrow too at Gillette Stadium. It's like the company kickoff for the year. That's all. I just figured I should have mentioned that sooner because it's like related to the whole football thing. Um,
And we saw Bruce Springsteen at Gillette.
we saw him play at that a concert there, so there's a lot. We've gone through a lot at Foxborough. Um, you know who liked the beach? Jeffrey McDonald.
That's all you need to know. I sh
Tahiti.
Oh my God. So today, between the Butner and the beach talk, could have brought it all together and really made an impression.
You know, he was a beach. He was a taxi driver on the beach. Fire Island was his scene.
I know.
Yeah. All right. So we're putting it all back together now. Well, it's sort of weird. We've taken some time away from Jeff in the last 2 or 3 sessions.
Do you feel like you miss him?
Well, I guess it's really going to be nothing but him for here on out. I think it's safe to say. So I guess we can sort of enjoy. We will be reunited with him soon enough. So yeah, I missed the voice of Jeff.
Yeah. The voice of Jeff chapters are fun. Um, I
Oh, can I wait before I
yeah,
sign? We sign off. Can I share something with our viewers from the raw transcripts? Maybe this is inappropriate, but it's a quote from Jeff. Should
okay.
I not do this?
Hey man, it's out of my hands.
This is a mistake, probably. Because so this is what I went. Then I started going through everything because I was trying to find leads on this Colonel Kane thing, and
Okay.
and so I found this part of the transcript where he's recording a tape about Colonel Kane and his wife, and this is what McDonald had to say about Colonel Kane and his wife. Frances Kane, his wife was a nice lady. As a matter of fact, she was the daughter of a general. Apparently, that's why Colonel Kane married her. That was supposed to be his stepping stone to a generalship. But he was a weak, sissy, pussy type guy, and he never got anywhere in the army, despite his marriage. That's one of the ways they move up in the army. The officer caste system really still does hold true to some extent. That's why Charlie Beckwith will never be a general, simply because he's not one of the social order that generals usually come from. He probably didn't go to the right schools, isn't married to the right person, drinks a little bit too much, whores around a little bit too much. The generals are a different cut than most of the other army people. They're not good or bad or different. They're different socially and in their ability to hide their indiscretions. So Mrs. Kane called my mother and suggested that the seashore of North Carolina was very nice, that if we weren't aware of it, that she would like to make us aware of it, and suggested that maybe we take a long weekend off and go down. So we did. So, you're forgetting all the slurs and all the hatred in there. that was kind of a buried lead that she would later tell the investigators that she thinks she got a call from him in the middle of the night, but she also went ahead and told Jeff's mom where to go on vacation. Well, I guess it wasn't vacation, to go for recovery and recuperation after the murders. Let that sink in, right? Let that sink in.
Hmm.
Any comments, Billy? You save me at all here?
I
I
don't
feel like I
think
just dug myself into a deep hole.
I don't think you need saving.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff says crazy stuff all the time. I don't endorse his point of views.
Yeah. He likes to jump out of planes and stuff, and
Yeah. No, he's a real tough guy.
yeah.
Well, let's to be continued. We made it all the way to 11:40. So,
Yeah, that's
we're
not
gonna
bad.
call it.
That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it on many episodes. I'd like to explore a bit more why we find Jeff so funny. Maybe I'll do some theological reading over the next week to try to piece it together. It's got something to do with the absurdity of evil and
Hmm.
how evil is a uh, privation of the good. It has no substance of its own, according to the Catholic tradition. It's just a way of thinking about it. So all the stories he's weaving, the self he's building, the game he's trying to get you to play with him, when you step back and really look at it, you just see how it's all a big nothing. And there's something very funny about to me about that dissonance, his absolute sureness, his absolute certainty that he's the man and he's getting one over, and
He's also
our
just
absolute
yeah,
certainty that he's not doing that at all.
and he's hopelessly denigrating it. Like literally anybody he's ever encountered in his entire life, like just some inconsequential Colonel Kane. He's like he was a sissy and he wasn't general stuff and um
Yeah.
this is the stuff that occupies his mind while he's incarcerated for three consecutive life sentences. This is the stuff Joe needs for color. It's wild.
All right, we got one last question here.
Oh, questions are coming in.
Oh well, Mal just. I don't know if you want to put that up on the screen or what. Mal just said,
Oh yeah, I forgot we could put things on the screen.
"Is Mal is
All right, this is what Mal has to say about what Catherine just said. Catherine says Jeff isn't gay, nor did he molest his kids.
okay." So,
Okay,
So Catherine McDonald is talking to Mal, and Mal is typing. That's all I can
all right.
infer.
I'm assuming he's just the scribe for the.
Okay, thank you, Catherine.
Thank you for the yeah.
And there's really nothing wrong with Jeff being gay, by the way.
No, I don't care at all. I don't think that
Not
matters.
really. That's not really anything I would object to
No,
about him. Okay,
not at all.
and then I wonder 3210. I want to put that up.
Yeah, what is Final Vision? We're talking about the book, not the movie. I just heard it existed, but can't find much info. It was a short Kindle type book my dad put out after the 2012 hearing. It's sort of cover. It's kind of just like a third extended epilogue to Fatal Vision, where he covers the grounds of the legal process that led to the hearing and then his experience of testifying there. And it's a good 72-page read. I think it's like $3 on Amazon. If you have half a mind to, it's a good. It's definitely. I think it's definitely belongs in the canon. So go for it. I should reread it myself.
Maybe tonight when we hang up.
Maybe
So,
tonight.
hey,
Yeah.
everybody. We love you.
And there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it. All right. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. Stay warm. Watch out for that storm. You know, I saw that storm is headed straight for Wilmington, North Carolina. So You McDonald people know what that means. Good night, everybody.